El Chavo Kart is a game you might not have heard of if you live outside of Mexico or certain parts of Europe. Perhaps due to being developed in Mexico and being based on a long-running animated Mexican television series, it may have simply been deemed irrelevant to release in most territories. But in actuality, this is a solid kart racer that took a studio of 150 people over 2 years to make. Well, if the Wikipedia article and its lack of citations are to be believed. With that said, does the game's second-hand price make up for the developer's passion? At $50 base price, that begs the question, should you rip it off, doesn't it? Why spend such a ludicrous price when you could grab the game for free? Well, let's take a closer look at El Chavo Kart, and see if this kart racer can truly stand up against its contemporaries. Once we've seen what the game has to offer, perhaps you will have the information you need to make an informed decision. Released in 2014, El Chavo Kart barely made it past the finish line for its intended console generation. Being one of the few alternatives to Mario Kart on the Xbox 360, and featuring beloved characters from Mexican television, you would expect the game to have been a hit. Honestly, the sales information isn't really out there, at least as far as I've been able to look, so it's really hard to say whether the game did well or not. As stated previously, this game features the characters and settings from El Chavo Animado. The series was based on the real-life sitcom El Chavo del Ocho, though after some of the more popular stories had been adapted, the animated series would then seek to develop its own identity. It ran from 2006 to 2014, proving to be quite popular, lasting for 7 seasons, and continues to air via syndication. Disappointingly, though the animated series would gain a sister show in the form of El Chapulín Colorado Animado, the Cherry Cricket himself does not make an appearance in El Chavo Kart. It would have been a laugh to see him riding on an anti-gravity space rock instead of driving a car. Chavo himself is a poor boy, nobody loves him. He's just a poor boy from a poor family. He and his gang of misfits go around causing mischief like the American Dennis the Menace. The show did get an English dub on the Splash Entertainment-owned Kabillion streaming service. If the game is played on an English language system, the game will use the names from that dub, so Don Ramon becomes Mr. Raymond, Popis becomes Phoebe, etc. Don't worry if you're like, who the hell are these people? What the hell am I looking at? Because honestly, I was in the same boat. And I mean, all you really need to know is that these characters are extremely popular in their home country. This would be like Japan making a JoJo's Bizarre Karting Adventure. So El Chavo Kart was developed in Unreal Engine 3, which was at the time of this game's release a little dated. I mean, Gears of War came out in 2007, and this game was 2014. But the tools and technology were pretty well understood at this point. Mechanically, this is a pretty damn sturdy kart racer. Sometimes a little floaty, the occasional what the fuck collision glitch, but when the racing is good, it's good. Reminds me of Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing. Buena posición de la cámara, excelente vista de la pista por delante. Items are fantastic. Your kart racer isn't a kart racer without items. You have your standard bowling balls to shoot, mines to drop, a pillow to protect yourself like a shield. Most items can be fired ahead or behind, giving you some genuine tactical options. You know what's really cool? Someone fires this game's blue shell, the paper airplane, at you. If you have an air horn or a pillow, you can neutralize the attack. Like using the invisibility in Snowboard Kids to avoid a shot. It means a top-level player can maintain their lead. Nothing worse than the blue shell Starman Lightning combo in Mario Kart, sending you from 1st to 12th. You have all the abilities and then some. Slipstreaming behind opponents to gain on them, you can ram into other drivers to knock them off course, but they also found time to add in an easy drifting system with multiple boost levels, giving you the impression of speed, the feeling of control, and that, in a kart racer, goes a really long way. The courses, while I am unfamiliar with the source material, are gaudy, bright, detailed affairs. Sunlight beams through the trees on the beach, you zoom underwater through tunnels seeing the fish and the ocean floor beside you, or blitz through a sky parade, bouncing off hot air balloons. The occasional course reminds you of an archetype from Mario Kart, like the Bowser's Castle or the Rainbow Road, but really this game has its own identity somewhere between Mario Kart and Sega All-Stars, with scenery you might not find out of place in Samba de Amigo. While from a sound and music point of view the game isn't much to write about, the Spanish voice acting from the animated series cast is quaint and funny to hear. I'm sure franchise fans would get a kick out of hearing the show's characters blabbering away during the game. They're all recreated rather faithfully from what I can tell. I find the style to be rather pleasing to look at. The character models look great, but sometimes they can get lost in the chaos. Yeah, chaos seems accurate. The courses can get pretty insane. On each consecutive lap, the course hazards become more pronounced and increase in number. On the first lap you may have to dodge some projectiles. On the second lap they increase in size and there's a couple more. On the third lap they're really coming for you and you have to make sure your drifting skills are on point. At the end of each race you are rated on your playstyle, with the game telling you what you're best at. It doesn't surprise me to see I'm constantly being told I'm the best at drifting, because the game's myriad large, swervy corners and turns are a great opportunity to build up some fresh speed and do a sneaky overtake. Winning cups unlocks characters, and winning challenges unlocks new tracks to race on. The difficulty seems fair, perhaps a little too easy from the outset, but that's because the game really does give you so many ways to block attacks, accrue items, increase speed, and gain the advantage. With 46 achievements to unlock, there's plenty of stuff to work towards. Achievements based around completing challenges with unique criteria, a cumulative item or weapon usage, and multiplayer achievements. Despite being a fantastic kart racer that would be a ton of fun to play online, the game does not support online multiplayer on either platform, and honestly, that's a fucking shame. So with its high price tag, no online multiplayer, and being taken down from the Microsoft Store some years back, getting hold of this game through legitimate means is gonna cost you. Which is what leads me to the nitty-gritty. We've got to talk about collecting, and we've got to talk about piracy. Hoi! You won't find El Chavo Kart for anything less than £50. eBay is the only place you can go to grab this here in the UK, and that means you're at the mercy of eBay prices, and these prices, they're merciless. Oh, and most of these listings are in the US or Mexico, so expect the shipping to be horrendous. If you want this game through kosher means, you're going to have to pay up, and you're going to have to wait for it to arrive. I couldn't imagine paying an excessive amount for this. If I could happen upon a French copy, for example, I probably wouldn't have to shell out quite as much, with it coming from somewhere more close by. The game did get a release both there and Brazil, under alternative titles. I can't say for sure that every copy of this game is overpriced, but all the ones I've seen, they really, really are. I doubt they're sold by folks who appreciate how good a kart racer this game really is. Nah, just more collectors and sellers, for whom video games are just a paycheck. Owning this physical doesn't provide any benefit over piracy, and pirating the game saves giving money to sellers who are asking for just a little too much. Is it a great game? Honestly, I would dig this if it were £20 down at my local Sex. But the very idea of paying at least £50 or more for this, it's simply too much. And then I can imagine that money going to someone who doesn't even care what the game contains or is actually like. I've said it before and I'll say it as many times as I need to. I wouldn't ever give money to such scammy, disgusting troglodytes. I'm not saying I'm the authority on what you should and shouldn't spend on second-hand games. But I know when a price tag is justified, and in this case, it really, really isn't. If it looks like something you'd want to play, there are modern alternatives on current systems. If you're looking for something similar to how El Chavo Kart feels to play, I'd point you in the direction of the Sonic racing titles. Solid, arcade-style racing featuring beloved characters. Just like El Chavo Kart is for Mexico. I just wish we could see El Chavo Kart get re-released on modern platforms, though that ship has likely sailed. Truly unfortunate, as this racer is far better than I think anybody expected it to be. If you can check it out, regardless of the means of doing so, I think you'll get a kick out of its simple and engrossing gameplay. You've been watching Rip It Off, whether you're a pirate or just a collector. Thanks for stopping by.